Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Jacquet and I am the CEO of ㅅ레지. ㅅ레지 is a company I started in 2015 in America, and about 4 years ago I moved to South Korea to help the growing number of global job seekers with their English resume. So what ㅅ레지 actually is an AI-powered English resume software. We use cutting-edge technology to help build a perfect resume for global companies. So here's the problem. The global recruiting industry is huge, about $500 billion, and it's growing 10% yearly. However, the process of hiring talent is quite broken. And we think the issue is actually the resume. So you might not know this, but when you apply to a company, they use an automated system to select candidates to interview. These are called applicant tracking systems. And about 75% of resumes are automatically rejected. And as a result, only 2% of applications actually result in an interview. So, at ㅅ레지, we believe a better resume creates a better candidate, which creates a better hiring experience. So, our solution, ㅅ레지, is a resume-focused software for companies to find qualified talent. We use AI to create a perfect resume. We use real-time content correction, a feature that's similar to Grammarly, and we automatically match our users to companies. So here's a closer look at our technology. We're able to leverage our data set of over 100,000 user resumes to train machine learning models to identify keywords. So this is really cool. As a job seeker, you're able to upload a job description to ㅅ레지, and ㅅ레지 AI will automatically tell you which words should be found in your resume content to get an interview for that position. So here's an example. So ㅅ레지 AI identifies about 23 patterns, and we recommend improvements based on that. So here's an average bullet point. We're able to identify parts of speech, such as verbs, which signal important information, such as duties and accomplishments. We can also pull out nouns, which are also important keywords, and also metrics, which help employers understand the scale of your accomplishments. Not only that, but we also have real-time content analysis. And this is really like Grammarly for your resume. We can understand how to apply unique resume insights to automatically review your resume at scale. So if you're not confident about your business English, ㅅ레지 will automatically fix that for you. We identify 11 different patterns to make a perfect resume for you in minutes. So here's our business model. We're primarily a B2C software, and we charge anywhere from $9 to $89 per month. And we also have a B2B2C model, which we deal with universities, such as the University of Wisconsin or Seoul National University. We've also had partnerships with employment companies, both in America and South Korea, such as Job Korea, and we have significant global marketing partnerships as well. We charge anywhere from a couple $100 a month to thousands of dollars per month, based on the amount of users that the agency or university has. And here's a great use case. So with the COVID pandemic, there's a lot of virtual consultation going on. And with Seoul National University, they're actually the first paying university to rely on ㅅ레지 for their English resume software. And it's really cool because it's a great university. We also have the University of Wisconsin, as I said. So it sounds like ㅅ레지 is for students, but ㅅ레지 is actually for everybody. We have so many users. It's really incredible, from US state senators to MBAs from Harvard and VC-backed CTOs. So we have a very wide range of professionals. ㅅ레지 is not only for students. Okay. We launched ㅅ레지 in September of 2019, so about 10 months. And in that time, we have about 90,000 job seekers who use ㅅ레지. In the past 3 days, we had about 24,000 people sign up. And that's in 3 days. So we're really starting to see our user base scale. And this is really cool because our marketing budget is $0. And I'll explain that a little bit more now. So how do we actually grow? The most important channel that we've identified is SEO. And this is a graph that shows the improvement our consistent improvement in SEO over the past year or so. So we're ranking #1 for all AI-powered resume builder keywords, and this is a very scalable and profitable growth channel for Rezi. We also have resale partnerships where other companies and news outlets resell Rezi to their user base. But most importantly and most uniquely is global expansion. Rezi users come from so many different countries in the world. Our biggest market is North America. Our secondary market is South Korea, and Canada is our third largest market. Okay, so now that we have so many users with great resumes, the question is, what will we do with them now? So we want to help job seekers find a position by directly matching them with companies in our hiring network. So we are training machine learning models to match candidates to companies directly. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's called Rezi Network, where you can access hundreds of companies with just one resume. We charge the company a monthly subscription based on the size of the company. And we also offer a standard fee, which is much cheaper than our competitors. So the company can actually apply or pay once the hire is made. And we do offer a 90-day guarantee for this. And if we go back to the market size, the global staffing industry is a significant and large market, where it's, as I said, $500 billion in revenue. But what's really interesting about this industry are the size of the players in the market. There's multi-billion-dollar companies, and this is interesting because if we look at the economics of our competitive landscape, we see that marketplace companies like Rezi, where job seekers go to make a profile, are oftentimes acquired by the more established, bigger players in the market because it's an innovative business model. So we're competitive towards our full-service competition like Adecco because we offer such a lower fee for companies who are looking to hire. And once we look even further towards the future to our exit plan, this is a great example of how the economics play out in our industry. So Adecco actually acquired one of our competitors 2 years ago for $100 million. But if you look at the KPIs from Vettery, which are on the screen, the average revenue per placement was $15,000. Now we have 90,000 users. So that's a pretty significant amount of value that we can bring to the market right here. So here are our forecasts. We're on track for about $250,000, and we're growing 30% month over month organically. We're at the point where we're raising a seed round to continue the deployment of Rezi B2B for universities, both in North America and South Korea. And by the start of next year, we hope to raise our Series A so we can start the development of our Rezi hiring AI. Okay, so here's our raise. We're raising $500,000 US to scale our data collection and launch the B2B hiring platform. Today, our financing to date is awards, grants, loans, angel investment, and also a most recent investment from the Lotte Accelerator as a pre-seed investment. And of course, our founding team. We're a very global team, but we're very small, just 2 people. I'm the CEO, as I mentioned. My name is Jacob Jacquet. I started my first company at the University of Wisconsin at the age of 19, and I sold it at 21. So my background really is starting companies. I love the thrill of it, and I'm quite good at it, I think. I have a degree in mathematics and econ, which I graduated in 2014. Our CTO is Luke. He was the CTO of a Series A level startup in South Korea, and he's been the lead developer for multiple large-scale projects at independent agencies. Unique to Rezi is we're the most recognized global startup in Seoul. We've recently participated in a number of programs, including the K-Startup Grand Challenge, Hanwha DREAMPLUS, the Lotte Accelerator, and many more. So let's go back to my personal story a little bit into why I started Rezi. I was quite a lazy student, and I had a 2.2 college GPA. However, once I graduated from college, I still wanted to work at cool companies like Dropbox, Google, and Goldman Sachs. And it turned out that I was able to get interviews at all of these companies because I understood how to write a perfect resume for the job description. So we took that knowledge and information and turned it into Rezi to help the world with their resume. So I'm sure everyone's curious on why I actually live in Korea. So why Korea? I feel like Korean job seekers are suffering. And youth unemployment might be Korea's #1 social issue. The government 2 years ago spent about $43 billion to help fight youth unemployment. And the unemployment rate is the highest it's been in the past 2 decades. So I think that's all that I have for my presentation. Thank you for listening.
네, AI 기반의 레주메 서비스를 진행하고 계신 레지의 제이콥 대표님 모셔서 발표 잘 들어봤고요. 이번에도 마찬가지로 여러분들이 올려주신 질문 중에 일부를 추려서 질문하고 레지에 대해서 더 알아갈 수 있는 시간 가져보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 질문 올려주시겠어요? If Rezi got funding, where the fund going to be spent?
Absolutely. So at this point, we've hit product market fit. So our seed round would go into the growth of our user base and also developing new technologies to allow us to monetize our growing user base. So we're raising a seed round of $500,000 US at this point.
Okay. So the question is that where you spent the funding money?
So if I would break it down into department, it would be marketing, development, operations, and then some administrative costs like legally and so on. So I can go deeper into if you guys want more detail. So there's a tremendous opportunity for Rezi right now to start working with more universities, both in North America and South Korea. Because of the pandemic, most students are, of course, working remotely, so they can't actually go to the career center. So if we had a seed round right now, we could really accelerate the adoption of the Rezi platform for universities.
네, 그러면 다음 질문도 바로 진행해 보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 질문 올려주시겠어요? What do you think is the most differentiation point of Rezi in AI-driven recruiting market?
Awesome. I love that question. And this is a very interesting question because we have to think about our competitive advantages because there's so much competition in the recruiting market. So if we think about Rezi, Rezi is a labor marketplace between job seekers and companies. And when we think about the marketplace business model, the value of the marketplace depends on both sides of the market, both the labor and the company. So in Rezi's case, we're a resume software. So we have job seekers use Rezi for building a commodity because job seekers need a resume.
Yes.
But if we think about our competition like Wanted or LinkedIn, you don't actually need a Wanted profile to apply for a job. So naturally, because we're building a better solution for something that everyone needs in the job search, then that's really a differentiating point for Rezi compared to our competitors.
네. 네, 다음 질문 바로 올려주시겠어요? For Rezi, what's the pros and cons running business in Korea?
Absolutely. Let's start with the pros. Korea is a fantastic place because I feel like it's so focused on innovation. The government has so many programs to support the very talented and hardworking labor market in South Korea. We've benefited from a lot of global programs for startups. Also, the wages are lower. So if we compared like a salary in Silicon Valley to a salary at Rezi in Korea, it's like night and day. So that's a huge advantage of that. And also, Seoul is really the focus of South Korea economically, politically, socially. So we're really close to our users. And before the pandemic, we had a lot of resume seminars where we were able to host a presentation and I would just lecture our users on how to make a resume. So it was really cool to interact with our customers in person, where if you use Rezi, you can just come up to me and ask, like, Jacob, how do I make my resume? And it would be a very like genuine and personal connection. But if we think about Wisconsin in America, where I'm from, it's in the middle of the country, like there's nothing out there. So it feels like it's so fast-paced in Seoul. The cons, of course, are the language barriers sometimes. I do think culturally there are some differences that make it more, not difficult, but just added challenges of doing business in Korea as a foreigner. And my Korean is very bad, by the way, so yeah.
Okay. Yes. AI algorithm that improve the resume contents is basic in English resume. How is this applied to Korean recruiting system?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a great question. So they are right about we focus on the English resume. So as a result, we also focus on global companies in Korea. So we don't actually deal with Korean companies that are hiring with the Korean resume. So we would like to help like Google, eBay, Nike, Amazon Web Services. These companies are very global in how they operate. So our solution matches perfectly for global companies. Because actually I've never applied to a Korean company. I don't have a Korean resume, and our background as a team and experts are in the English resume.
Okay. Yes, that's a nice answer.
Yes, yes.
Okay. 네, 계속해서 그러면 다음 질문 진행해 볼까요? What's the exclusiveness of service that provided by REZI?
Interesting question. The exclusiveness of service. How do you interpret this question?
Maybe because there are lots of company now providing resume service in Korea and other
Okay,
areas.
sure. I can answer in that way. The cool part about REZI is it's a software. It's focused on the English resume. But when we think about the benefit for the user, it's completely free. Because as a job seeker, you kind of have two options. We can use technology or you can hire a consultant. So the advantages of using technology is it's free. There's more efficiency of using AI to do like the keyword targeting matching, the automatic content analysis. And it's very standard. It's available in the cloud, so you can access it from any computer. But when we compare that to like a traditional resume consultant in Korea, they charge thousands of dollars, and they still don't have the same like deep expert knowledge in the resume that REZI has. So, and this is what innovation does. You know, like innovation pushes out uncompetitive services because price, effectiveness, and so on. So we look forward to competing against the traditional, really expensive resume consultants because I feel like we've built a better way to make an English resume.
네, 맞습니다. 방금 말씀해 주신 것처럼 레지의 아마 가장 큰 장점은 무료로 사용할 수 있다는 게 아닐까 싶은데 한국에도 많은 취업 컨설턴트들이 있지만 그런 거에 비해서 진짜 무료로 많은 사람들이 효과적이고 더 심지어 퀄리티도 높은 이력서 서비스를 활용할 수 있는 게 레지의 진짜 장점이 아닐까 싶습니다. 네, 계속해서 다음 질문 그러면 이어가 보겠습니다. When AI is trained, it is expected to include the basic of the creator will be included. How did you solve the problem?
Right. That's an interesting question. Okay, so the bias of training our AI models. So our models exist to identify keywords. So there isn't really a bias in the keywords because we're looking for different types of words such as hard skills. So if we're applying for a web developer position, you should have keywords like HTML, full stack, maybe React in your resume. So there isn't really a bias in identifying those types of words, but there is a challenge in picking out which words should be trained, or how do we train the models to identify the exact words. So in our case, our models are quite simple. We're not doing too much, so that's not really a problem that we've faced at this point. But it is a very interesting question, I think.
Yes. 오케이. 그럼 이제 다음 질문 또 바로 한번 넘어가 보도록 하겠습니다. Can you explain about the system AI analysis the resume?
That's confidential. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so absolutely. So our AI system works like this. The job seeker uploads a job description, and then we parse the data, and then we're looking for keywords. And the more users that use REZI, the more data then we can train our algorithm on. So it's really quite simple. We're just matching using basic natural language processing to look for the correct words. For the hiring AI, I think at that point it's going to be more based on the preferences of the job seeker to match the job description of the company without really too much work in between. So we're at the early stage. There's still a lot more to be developed, but we'll see.
Okay, thank you very much. And can you say last comment for the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys understood my English without too many problems. It's been a pleasure to speak to you guys today. If you guys want to use Rezi, I highly recommend it. It's rezi.io, very simple. And thank you very much once again.